Hello, everybody. Welcome in. We're going to be kicking off here right as soon as these ads are going to push through on the Twitch side. Thank you for hanging out on Twitch and on YouTube. Appreciate all of you. We'll be diving right in with HexaQuest. Very exciting NextFest demo redeemed by, let's see, who did was it Mothman? I think it was Mothman, right? Mothman Centaur? Would the real Mothman Centaur please stand up? Yes, it was Mothman Centaur. So we'll be getting to that just as soon as these ads are done. Thank you for being here. I'm excited. We'll be right there. It is Spooktober, Golden Fella. I'm just saying. This is thematically appropriate. Okay, welcome back. Let's dive on in, shall we? It's so good to see you all. Welcome in. Congratulations, Mothman, on being first. And on your analysis, thank you, Prodigal Son. We got the hat. Thank you for that. Hungry Mongry, great to see ya. Golden Fella, Prodigal, Blades, and all of you others lurking in the shadows. Mothman, hype, good to see you. Welcome in. Thank you for hanging out here today. I'm really excited about this. This is such a wild sort of thing that Mothman has redeemed here. HexaQuest, you can find it on Steam. We'll go ahead and throw this link in the chat. This is the demo we're going to be checking out here today. We're going to pin this. There we go. Send it over to YouTube. So you can check out HexaQuest on your own as well if you want to play alongside us. So this promises to be a game where you are a dice, and you rotate your dice to move around on a grid. So you go thunk, 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 right? And then every time that die face faces up, you cast a spell. And you can kind of, it's a bit of a dice builder, but it's also a Metroidvania. And I would have expected this to be like a roguelike, because we just expect everything to be a roguelike nowadays. So I'm curious how this long-term progression is going to work into this sort of a thing. Really curious. Have I played Crypt Custodian? I can tell you I haven't. I'm trying to remember what Crypt Custodian is. Ah, yes, this is on my wish list. This is another Metroidvania that I've been wanting to get to for a while. Yeah, it looks gorgeous. Absolutely. Good to see you, Karzest. And Andrew Catface, lovely, welcome in. So, I'm really curious about that. We're going to be looking at a couple of different things. Normally, we look at gameplay and UX UI design. I am consulting with a team that is doing some really cool stuff with narrative work. So I've been studying a lot of story structure. So we're also going to be bringing in some thoughts of, how does this game tell its story? What could be done to kind of build it out? We've got a couple of different story frameworks here. We've got, oh god, that's like completely gross. But this is Dan Harmon's story circle. This is the Save the Cat, typical throw. And then we've got story beats lined up over here, also from Save the Cat. So it's going to be a fun time. We're going to dive into a bunch of different things here today. I'm very excited. Thank you for the lurk, Blades. Appreciate you. Appreciate. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's doing all right. So we're going to start off. First off, this is a game that runs in full screen. And if you are playing this, you might say, but Joe, look, there's a windowed mode. To which I would say, yes, but I can't change the size of the window and it just defaults to being full screen. And you might say, this screen resolution thing is there. Like, I don't know what 100% means, but like, surely if you set it down, no, it does nothing. I have no idea what screen resolution does. If I change it, you can see that it also changes the graphics quality. So this is our first like design principle we can talk about here today is Jacob's Law, which everyone is sick of hearing me talk about, but it's so important. It's such a big deal. And until people stop making mistakes with it, I'm going to keep bringing it up. So Jacob's Law. Oh, and I forget, it's not in our textbook. This is a digital design law in Laws of UX. Here we go. Jacob's Law. Users spend most of their time on other sites. This means that users prefer your site to work the same way as all the other sites they already know. So why the heck are we making resolution? Oh, there we go. Now you can actually see it. Why are we making resolution a percentage? That doesn't make any sense. And then if I change it, it doesn't seem to actually affect screen resolution, but it does seem to affect graphics quality. So that's a really big, weird, wiggly wampus, very confused sort of thing. We also have our headers being left aligned and then all of the settings right aligned. And the result is this big gap here. And this is a really simple thing to fix. You either center align the headers over the options, or you just left align all of your options, right? This is not a difficult thing to fix. So real low-hanging fruit there that would bring that up a lot. Of course, typography. This button is a little bit awkward, just kind of hanging out. It's bigger than the headers, which you may or may not want, but it feels like the headers are trying to call out of attention to themselves. Bring that out of there. Can you imagine someone getting in here and just feeling really lost there, right? As well on this main screen, we don't have our logo. We always want our logo. And then we have a series of buttons down below. Continue, new game, settings, quit. I agree with the order here, but once again, chunk, right? Continue a new game, go together, settings, have its own space, quit, be down below, have some extra spacing between these different categories. Continue as well should be disabled or not present altogether. Probably just disabled though, until I hit new game. Now, some things we usually look for in title screens as well. We want movement. We want a sense of movement. We do have this little tornado over here, but that's pretty scarce movement. It's like way off in the corner, it's not really doing anything. We really want foreground, middle ground, background. We don't have foreground, middle ground, background here. We have middle ground. We just have like a cut of a level. We don't have any music. And we don't like have a character on here to identify with. So this is one big thing that I've been learning about in my studies of story structure is you need some opening image, right? And this is what Save the Cat calls it. It's an opening image. It's the first thing that the people see. And if you present something to a viewer, they're going to identify with it. If you have someone walking down the street and the camera is on that person, they assume they are that person. If you show a squirrel running across the road, we're assuming we're that squirrel, right? So right here in this game, we have nothing to project onto, nothing to identify with, nothing to connect emotionally with. So this is a pretty rough opening at the start, but the premise may be intriguing enough to keep people moving forward. Eden the Beast, good to see you. Welcome in. Let's keep going. Let's dive into the actual game here. Is it crashed? Okay. Is there music? Is it just super quiet? Okay, I can't hit escape to go into a menu. Today you made your biggest roll yet. Press space to continue. It was by the gods' hands as usual, but this particular roll has sent you far beyond the bounds of the tabletop you call home. Wait, are we a dice that got rolled off of a board game table or something? All right, thank you for your lurk, Mothman. Best of luck in your meeting. And this roll did not feel motivated by the usual love the gods have shown you as their champion. Oh no, did you kill an adventurer? Did you roll a 1 when you needed to roll a 6 and you got thrown into dice jail? Are we escaping dice jail? That's hilarious. This dialogue little box here could have a lot more style in it, right? We could have some sort of chroming, either in a gradient in the background or border elements. Quantic Flux, good to see you. Welcome in, friend. How are you today? Quantic Flux has been coaching me on various manga that I've never read any manga, but he's trying to make it more accessible for me. Thank you, Quantic. The typography just feels very basic. It doesn't feel built into the world at all. It's just like Arial, right? It's just kind of there. It doesn't fit the world. How about yourself? We're doing very well. Thank you. Yeah. So we're talking today about HexaQuest. This, you can find that pinned in Twitch chat. It's this really weird dice-based Metroidvania. So we are a dice, and we're going to move, and as we roll, we'll cast the spell on the face of the dice that's coming up. As well, since I'm doing some consulting on a game that is really focusing on its story, I'm doing a lot of research on story structure and trying to figure out, like, how do we really piece together a story? And so we're going to be looking at all this. So opening image, we have a dice in a cold, dreary wilderness, right? Let me grab a screenshot here of this. This is our opening shot. And also with opening shots, we ideally want some sort of really tight shot or really wide shot. If we jump right into the middle like this, it can feel a little disorienting. You don't know what you're supposed to be focusing on, right? So that's why, like, sitcoms, whenever they start the show up, it's almost always with a shot of the house on the block, right? And then they zoom into that house. It eases us into the world instead of just starting with characters in the living room talking together. Endo, good to see you. Welcome in. You did get here in time. Yeah, we're just barely getting started. 15 minutes in. So we are identifying with the dice. We identify with the dice. And then we're getting some exposition. Exposition says we are cast off. Not with love or carelessness. Like, we were deliberately thrown away. So that's another key trick. If you want someone to empathize with a character, make them an underdog, right? The brain bits that engage in, like, pity or sympathizing really, are the same parts of our brain chemistry that activate, or rather, sympathy and pity are like the same things. So when we feel that someone is having a bad time, we feel like we are them. It's a good writer's trick to get you into the space. The dice didn't fall there or anything. It just started this way. Now, maybe I missed a falling animation, but if I did, it was really quick and subtle. I don't think I missed it. I think we just started here. And then we moved once, and now we're getting this dialogue. So, the interesting thing here is we are starting a bit in media res, which is good, but we're also having to have exposition on the first start of the story, according to Dan Harmon, which is balance. Balance given through exposition. So Dan Harmon says you start your story off where the character is in a happy state, or rather in a balanced state, and nothing is changing at the moment. It is just life as it exists. HexaQuest, right? Yeah. Also, that's kind of a weird title, because HexaQuest makes me think, I get that it's hex as in like 6 sides of a dice, but it makes me think hexagons, when clearly we're squares, right? Okay. So the balance, that opening part, which is supposed to help us really kind of connect with this character, is being given through text, through a narrator. Anytime you have a narrator, it's a big yellow flag. Most of the time, narrators are terrible in film, movies, books, anything. You really want narration to not be in your product if you can avoid it. Now, there are, of course, exceptions to that, right? We got Bastion, we've got Hades, all of those. I mean, that studio has made a through line of narration in their game to do really cool things. Pyre as well. It's all like, it can be done really well, but you have to be incredibly intentional and really careful about it. Maybe they're going for an angle where the dice just became sentient and that's why he appeared there. But then that wouldn't explain how it knew it got discarded. Exactly. Yeah, and how it had this previous relationship with its previous owners, right? So I do like that we're starting in medias res. We're starting kind of in the middle of the action. Not even really in the middle of the action. We're starting after the catalyst, right? This is where the game starts. Is something happened to get us into drama. Right here. Catalyst. Swap hats, Alamod, absolutely. How you doing today, friend? What new projects have you been up to? How was the launch as well? I know you posted a little update on the Discord, but what did you think of the launch? So this is a bit rough. We're skipping some pretty important stuff here where we are stating the theme. We are identifying with the character and we're jumping straight to Catalyst, and then this narration is forcing us to identify with this character. So it's not great. We could have a scene where even just like a still image of the dice getting rolled, people laughing around a table, the dice lands, everyone yells, yeah! And you see like little hearts coming up out of the dice, and they all keep playing their game. And then do that a few times, and then, oh no, I rolled a 1. And then like a pail of darkness covers the player's face, and they hold the dice up to their eyes and throw it away. And then we cut here. Right now we have a basis to identify with this character and root for them, right? It's not their fault that they rolled so poorly. It's just the way the dice rolls. Explorer hat, you got it, Prodigal. Forcing, how dare you? I've not been paying attention. I hear you better when you have hats. There you go. Appropriate. Yeah, absolutely. So let's keep going here. Let's see how they continue to evolve this story. In this dark, unfamiliar space, you have awaited the god's return. Should that be capitalized? It feels like there should be some sort of treatment on there. We see this on some other games. I was actually watching Quantic Flux playing King's Bounty? Oh, shoot. What was it? It was the auto battler that you were playing recently. Queen's... It's not Queen's Dilemma, because that's a really cool board game. King's Dilemma, and the sequel, Queen's Dilemma. Where is your channel? So I can see which one it was, because I keep on meaning to grab a screenshot of it, and I never do. Heroes Warband. Oh, not even close. Heroes Warband. Who's that? So Heroes Warband, let me get past the ad on YouTube, and then I'll bring a screenshot over here, and we can take a look at this. I think they do something very clever. Oh, call YouTube. I skip the ad, and then I rewind to the beginning, and it says, cool, you're hitting another ad. Like, no, I just watched an ad. Come on. They do this really well in their narrative beats. Hold on. Was it Heroes Warband? Ooh, maybe it wasn't Heroes Warband. I could have sworn it was. Sears Gambit. Oh, God. So similar. Sears Gambit was the game. Okay. So we're going to grab this screenshot, bring this over to our other window. Here we go. So we have these like keywords that we're supposed to remember highlighted. These are not codex entries. These are not going to lead to more information. They're just ways to help you anchor into the important parts of the sentence so that you can keep playing the game. It helps skimmers. It helps people that read deeply. It helps everyone. This is such a good pattern to observe if it will work thematically for your game and it's not going to kind of ruin some things. I don't think it would ruin anything in HexaQuest. Fuzzy Buzzy, good to see ya. How you doing? How's the Femboy game coming? Sears Gambit is great. Super nice devs too. That's awesome. That's awesome. I've been on the hunt for good auto battlers because it's weird that this is a genre that is kind of taking off, but so far there's not a ton of really good stuff on the market for it yet. At least in a sense that's exactly what I'm looking for. A lot of these auto battlers are like really mechanically in-depth with tons of equipment systems and everything. And I kind of just want a game where I make a choice and then that choice bears out. And I want to make another choice and that choice bears out. Into the Flame is a really good example, but there's just a little too much mental work for me to do that, you know, at 10:30 p.m. I'm in bed. I just want something to calm down after a long day of work and taking care of kids. Just want something simple. So, you know, I'm looking for something a little bit specific. Currently, the game is broken. I broke something, so I'm retracing my steps to fix it. Ooh, best of luck, Fuzzy Fuzzy. That's always a fun one. Is that a challenge? It is a challenge. Wait, is your dice builder being an auto battler? Because if so, hit me up. In this dark, unfamiliar space, you've awaited the god's return. So yeah, like the god's return, awaited the god's return could be colorized, right? But there's been no movement, no life, aside from the shifting of dust in the air. There could be a period after no movement, and then no life could be starting. No, that's not quite. This sentence just isn't quite correct. We need to rewrite that. You, Hex, have been discarded. Do we need a name? And that's another place where, like, we could have had connection to the players, right? If they were like, all right, Hex, roll! Then we know that we're Hex. And then he says, oh, good job, Hex. And he kind of pets the dice and gets little hearts, right? That's a way we could have been shown all of this without being told, you, Hex, et cetera, right? I like players being involved in every decision for now. Well, I still want to see it. In this starkly unfamiliar place, you recognize a familiar symbol on the ground. A checkpoint. Press R to reset and return to your last checkpoint anytime. Press X after resetting to edit your inventory? Can I press R right now? No. Can I press X right now? No. Did I crash the game? Whoop. Whoop. What's going on? Okay, the game caught up. It did not like me doing that out of sequence. Okay, so nice little sound effect. I like that we have the little red box there to say, hey, look, this is activated now because the glow is completely covered up by the dice, so that's a good little signifier. We can reset. There we go. A loading indicator would be nice, so it doesn't just seem like the game has crashed. We have inventory. I don't know why we're pressing X for inventory instead of I for inventory. You can maybe leave X for the power users, but definitely have I or tab or something a little bit more Jacob's Law affirming, right? The jam page might look a lot better if you use the summary tag. Ooh, tell me about the summary tag, Alamad. I'm curious. And yeah, I need to work on the jam page. I haven't had any time to dive into that. Obviously, this UI is just, it needs a lot of work. We have text that is kind of illegible because of color contrast. It doesn't feel thematic. That's kind of everything in here. The UI just needs a good UI artist to come in here, a good UI artist and a UX designer to team up and make things happen. I do like this paper doll layout for our dice. That's cool. But, the empty states are a little bit rough. Just a lot of work could be done here. You need to be able to press escape to go out of the inventory instead of hitting close. Close can be like in the upper left or top right or something, not in the bottom middle, because that's kind of move forward. All right, let's keep going. Ooh, I like that little fire effect. We got tornado. Is that going to hurt me? Oh, it's an obstacle. Okay, so this is teaching us we're going to be needing to maneuver around things. I like that that wasn't damaging me yet. Just introduce that there are obstacles you're going to have to... Oh, press R to restart. That screen needs to be a lot better. Have a good intro. Once again, find a good typeface for this game. All right. I can't hold in a button to keep on moving. I'm a little confused about the theme here. This is like a real-life die, right? This location doesn't seem like real life. I agree. Yeah, it's like we've been cast into the shadow dimension or something. X marks the spot for the inventory. I can't fault you for that. So we have these floating platforms. Are they going to... Yeah, okay, they disappear. That's what I would have expected. I'm glad they gave me a little bit of space there to experiment with that. Oh, boy. Oh, and it goes so slow after you restart. Honestly, I would have said this demo is not ready for Next Fest. This is not polished. Oh, gosh, dang it. This is not polished enough for Next Fest at the moment. It can definitely get there, but in my opinion, they have kind of squandered their Next Fest demo spotlight. Reading, Chris Zukowski. Is that just going to drop away? No, so it is paused. So we have kind of like rogue style movement, which works. It's fun. Okay. So these are solid. I can just bounce around on those forever. Gosh dang it. It is so easy to fall off the edge. Oh my gosh. Maybe, man, this is tough because you want to be able to queue actions up because they're having a big map you can move around in. You need to be able to move around on it quickly. But then also, it's really easy to queue up one move too many. And so, like that last time when I fell, I was holding up before I started moving. But I guess I had another movement queued, and that killed me, which was a bummer. I would also say this tutorial is a little bit too rough. Was this Kickstarter vid also recommended to you? No, I haven't. This is a jam entry. I can see that. I'm unfamiliar with any Kickstarter. I did the same thing with Scholar. It wasn't even a roguelike yet when I entered NextFest, the biggest waste of an opportunity. Oh, wow, yeah. So there you go. Learn from people that have been there. Its structure goes like details, summary, put the heading here, write down the description here. It only shows the heading and an arrow on the left, which you can click on to expand, just like the GMTK page. So, interesting. So, okay, summary tag. I think this is new since you kids with your HTML7s. Oh, they have a Kickstarter going right now, which is probably why they launched the Next Fest demo. I guess I can understand that. I'm curious how it works out for them. So a summary will essentially make like an accordion, a built-in accordion for that. Is that what that is, Alamad? Like, we desperately need music here. We need this intro to be a lot softer on the player. Like, I've had to restart this section quite a large number of times, which you don't want for your tutorial. Which you don't want for your tutorial. Oh, man. What a bummer. You need to build the player's confidence and give them the tool set and explain the rules they need to know before having these really extended checkpoints. Okay. All right, we beat the map. Hurrah! You see a jack of clubs further down the path, rifling through the rubble. So, okay, so this is going to be like, we're probably going to see meeples at some point or something, right? We're seeing playing cards. I think the play is to enter Next Fest right before launch instead of entering as a proof of concept. Yeah, 100% Endo. You want your demo to be a full, like, representation of your end game. Yeah. You agree, Cubis? Did Mothman purposely give you a rage-inducing game? This is sad, all jokes aside, because the devlogs on YouTube Shorts make the game look really interesting and polished. Interesting. And it could be that that's the case, and maybe they just have spent the majority of their time in the middle of the game, and they need to go back and redo this tutorial, which is a bummer, right? Like, we should all have learned this lesson a long time ago from the God of War directors, saying everyone is going to play the first part of your game, but only like 20% will ever see the ending. So focus your time on your beginning of your game. And God of War really pioneered that. And it's 100% true. And they have banger openings, and it catapulted them into success. Oh, ha! What are you? You! Ha! What is this dialogue? A champion of the tabletop. Why might you be here? I like the art here, though. Had a graceless tumble from the lap of the gods, did you? Ah, what a farce. Oh, and now we have our character. This feels like a different art style, but maybe that's not quite right. Fox saying good luck with that, like, bless your heart insult. I mean, listen, I do not know very much. I really don't. So it could work out for him. And even if it was the wrong call, 70% of the time to 90% of the time, there's still that chance that it's exactly what they need. And that's why we never try to pass judgment on anyone else on what they're trying to accomplish, because the world is big and complex and varied, and you never know what's going to work or what's not going to work. We have like best practices that have been shown to be more reliable over time, but that's no guarantee of future success. So, it's about drawing down risk, but there's still the chance that it's going to work out for some reason. You never know. It could be that the timing is just perfect for some outside reason, or maybe it is giving them the cash they need to be able to continue to develop, and they needed to make this call to do this right now. Like, you never know what the environments are leading up to certain decisions. So we're not saying any decision is good or bad. We're just saying, I'm curious to see how that works out. It doesn't go with what we would expect with best practices, and I'm curious how it goes. And I hope it goes really well. This is what happened for us with Attack on Hex Island. The beach is my favorite, most polished map on the entire game, and that is fine since that's the demo. We've had more chances to watch people play and fix it. Yeah, there you go. Missing contrast on the text, I agree. Yeah. All right, we're going into ads. Thank you for the lurk, Prodigal. We'll be right back. Favorite dice. Favorite dice. You gotta love the D20, but like at the same time, there's something a little enigmatic about the D12 and the D10. That's all I'm saying, So we'll be right back as soon as Jeff Bezos is sated. Okay, welcome back. Yahtzee. It's a classic, and I do love me a good battle Yahtzee. Dice Throne, the board game? That's what Moon Hollow came out of, that idea of battle Yahtzee. Still want to build Moon Hollow someday. Favorite dice is clearly 100 dice. Honestly, I have a big, brass, hefty D100 that I use for solo role-playing games to roll on tables, and it's the most satisfying thing in the world. I get you, Cubis. The shape of the D8 calls to Endo. Yeah, I hear you. D20 is great, of course, but I really like the shape of the D10. I'm with you. There's something about the roundness, but still dynamic shape. I like the D10. I kickstarted these dice called Pixels that look rad as hell years ago. One day I'll finally get them. I have heard about one dice company in particular that is like getting sued because of just never delivering things and being crazy overpriced. So, I'm so sorry, Quantic. Two things. The most important thing to note is that nobody has mentioned the D4, and with good reason. The D4, little cal drop, thunk, get out of here. But then also, I have a buddy who I play D&D with. He's a neighbor to me who is a Lutherie. And in case you don't know what a Lutherie is, a Lutherie comes from the old origins of lutes. So they are someone who makes lutes or string instruments. So they can make guitars, lutes, and everything. And he's a professional guitar maker, custom guitar maker, and he sells them for a ridiculous amount of money. He has a guy that will do custom dice. It is $80 for a set of dice that is custom built to your specifications. You can get very granular and say, I want this color with this sort of stuff mixed into it. I want these shapes, so I don't want the Caltrop D4. I want like the sort of potion dice or whatever. Or you can say, here's my character concept. Do your thing. And he will go through multiple iterations with you until he gets it right. It's an absurd amount of work and value for $80, to be frank. Considering a lot of these dice sell for the hundreds of dollars range and you're just buying it off the shelf, this dude's crazy. D6 is great, but I want written numbers, not dots. And I like hard edges. Ooh, I do like hard edges. Although I have kids, and hard edges do tend to snap off. Like the corners will snap off a lot of times for me, especially if it's like a rock dice or something. So absolutely wild the value will people put out. And HexaQuest is starting to do D&D commission work. Not because she needs the work, but just because she finds it a fun thing to do. It's been really fun seeing her work on those and everything. There's talented people all over the place, you guys. It's great. I like the pips on D6s more than the numbers for some reason. Interesting. I admit there's a part of me that wants consistency. Like if we're going to do pips all the way around, right? Happy wife, happy life. Absolutely, absolutely. Link that guy. I know, right? Let me text him and see if we can get a link going. The contact info of your dice guy. People on the stream want to know. Okay. D20 with pips would be nuts. It would be, but I've actually seen people do this. Where look at the game Rollscape. One word, Rollscape. And it's a D6, similar to this, but you roll, and the whole point is to make big numbers get bigger. And you can have a die face from -20 all the way up to like 78 billion. So they actually came up with a pretty good visual language to quickly communicate tens, 20s, hundreds, all that sort of stuff. It's really interesting. Okay. Let's dive in with Hex here. We need hover on each of these to tell me, yes, this is an option. It going all the way across is a little bit brutal. And also, I don't know what the impact of my decisions are going to be. I'm going to be really rude and see what impact that has. Ignore him. That just ended the conversation? Oh, what is it, my champion? Do I obstruct your fated path? Have I neglected to fold before you and kneel? Okay. Where am I? Oh, of course. A pampered champion such as yourself must be truly lost here. This is the Domino Den. Foolish die. The Domino Den. A truly forgotten corner of the playing space. The gods above must truly despise you if they sent you here. Ha ha! Brutal! So I'm curious why I clearly need to converse with this guy to move forward. Oh, or maybe not. Okay, I didn't know that was going to be a path we could travel. Having some sort of indicator of, hey, this leads you to a new zone would be nice. A door or arrows or a fade out or something to just communicate to the player. Run along now, champion. Haven't you got dust together? What were you doing in that rubble when I found you? Nothing of note. I'm merely here out of curiosity. There's much to be found in these ruins. But are these relics yours to take? I am merely appreciating that which has been left unappreciated. The former owners of these goods have long since succumbed to the dust. No doubt you'll be well acquainted soon enough with such a fate. Ha ha! Is that it? All right, that's all we can do. So it's less of a decisions matter and more of a explore the dialogue tree for knowledge. We can go down there later. I'll check that out later. We got dominoes. Okay. There we go. This is actually a pretty effective way to communicate this gimmick. This feels like what the tutorial should have been, right? That first area. Oh, and then I like that they have the down arrow to say, hey, go down here. I imagine a lot of people would probably miss that. D20 summary is more of a spoiler than accordion. Ah, okay. Thank you. Appreciate that, Alamat. I'll take a look at that. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. His shop, okay, so the shop is called Fabled Fragments on Instagram and Etsy. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let's go to Etsy and go to, let's see, is that, oop, that's the wrong one. Fabled Fragments. Fabled Fragments. There we go. There's the store. Custom dice commissions. He's doing it for $30 now? I think the $30 is for, like, yeah, a single D20. And then it's a full set for $120. It looks like he upped the price a little bit. Good for him, because that's an outrageous value. There you go. Player deserves this demo only if they go through the hard part. You have to prove your worth. All right, there you go. Oh, jeez. Yeah, we definitely need a lot more polish on death. It seems like we're getting a lot of death here. Is that just gonna go? Okay. I'm looking out for, like, treasures of some sort. I know we're going to be getting quite a lot of equipment and spells. I kind of feel like we should have already gotten something. Aha! Here's the menu screen. So it's our first item that they're showing us. That's an interesting choice. Okay, we need some sort of transition to say, hey, you got cut. This is what cut does. So we don't click and drag, we click, which then enables that, I guess. Selected cut. See, okay, you have to have text for selected cut because you don't have a good selected state. So if we put like a good, even just a simple glowing red border around it, right? All of a sudden, we don't have to have selected here. We know we have selected cut. And then as well, this is a description for what is above. This pixel art, when it gets expanded like that, it's way too hard to see. Shrink it down, put it next to the cut name. And then we need to connect it to this, because when it's a separate window, it feels like a separate entity. Okay, let's throw it here, sure. So we get 3 cuts. I'm gonna go on an L so that way we can still get it when we rotate sometimes instead of having to go along a straight line. All right. Can I go further in here? Okay. Aha! Okay. Oh boy. There we go. Is there a reason to break the pots? I mean, you always want to break the pots, but is there a reason to? Stand up done, you're still alive. Congrats, Prodigal. That's a big win. Cut shows you muscles after you've done a bulk. Not that type of cut. Never mind. Oh, dear. There we go. Man, this is actually a very difficult and tricky puzzle. And I kind of both love and hate the scarcity involved in it. You see a challenge obelisk before you, emanating with glorious memories of the tabletop. Press E while standing next to a challenge obelisk to recall its memory. Once again, we have a narrator doing the exposition. When we could do this diegetically, we could do it in the world. We could, I mean, even better than a narrator, and this is just one step above it. It's not even really changing anything. It's, instead of having a narrator explain the mechanic, have Hex say, oh, an obelisk. I've heard legends of this. They contain memories of the past. Let's go, right? And that's also usually why in a lot of games and films, this is how the Save the Cat screenwriter theorizes the buddy cop genre got invented, is because people went from books to movies and they said, hey, in a book, I can have people thinking, but in a movie, we can't really get inside their head very well. So what if we just gave them another person that doesn't know anything and they can talk to that person and explain things to them? And that's why a lot of games have like Navi. They have your little sidekick character that can explain things to you. So you don't have to have a narrator do it. It feels a little more in the world. It's not the best option, you know, if that's the only thing that it's going to do, but it's at least better than a narrator saying, press this button to, you know, do it. French Peacock, good to see you. Welcome in. When are you allowed to edit your inventory? I think we can do it right now. It's really, okay, maybe not. Maybe you can only do it on checkpoints. That might be the thing, Zomnom. D1 sidekick. That's a great idea. Okay, so we've got, so yeah, we're kind of stuck, actually. So you commit to what you have until you reach the sort of Dark Soulsian bonfire, right? Okay, so they're just rotating in those 4. Can I? Oh, I can cut the whirlwinds. Okay. I guess I can cut the dominoes as well. Okay. That's a lot more powerful than I would have imagined. Okay. Why am I doing this again? Did I gain anything from doing it last time? So, okay. Here's what I'm seeing so far. I think what they have been focusing on with their polish is the interactions of the game instead of the in-betweens, right? So, like, this endpoint looks really good. I like the isometric camera. The rolling feels pretty nice, with the exception I said earlier about, like, it can kind of cue an action up and throw you off the edge. Blowing things up, good particles, good chunky D6 particle effects flowing into this obelisk. But, like, I just did the obelisk, now what? Like, why did I just do that obelisk? It looks like the whole world has reset. It seems like that was just a waste of time. It could be that I got some really cool thing, and I don't know what, because they just haven't told me about it yet. So stay in good communication with your player. There we go. Can cut that. Cut. Go here. Here? Okay, good. We can just keep going. But we do need to cut here. There we go. Got it. So that's feeling satisfying. I'm liking the sort of puzzly aspect of it. We talked a little while ago about how Metroidvanias are going through a bit of a renaissance right now, where it's not just Metroid clones. It's not just Castlevania clones. It's like, let's do a Metroidvania, but a puzzle game. Let's do a Metroidvania, but an adventure game. Let's do a Metroidvania, but X, Y, or Z. And I think this is being another interesting concept of that. Sundown, how's Big Papa doing? Welcome in. Good to see ya. I'd love if you could cut the exit portal too and get stuck. Sidekick is tried and true. Yeah, absolutely. You can do it. Did any of the winners of prize money from the Game Jam go on to make Steam pages that you know of? So I know that Queen Anne is actively pitching with her team. They built a pitch deck for Primordial Pantheon, and they're working on polishing that up and pitching it to publishers right now. That's the only one that I've heard of. Incredibro, who made Pong, who was our first place winner, I think he has continued on other projects. And then Starries, who's a local Utah dev, actually, who won the second place, I think, with his Pong entry. I know at one point he was wanting to build that into a roguelike. I don't know where that stands nowadays. I don't think it has a Steam page yet. You wanted a sword? Here you go. There you go. There you go. This game came from Roll of Dice themed GMTK Jam? I have no idea. Wouldn't surprise me, but I have no idea. I saw many games like this during that jam, and my main complaint was I cannot see the faces, so I don't know what I'm rolling to. I don't have a smart brain that can keep track of my faces. Not the right face, it looks like. I can see that. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. It would be nice to have some sort of like a, up here in like the upper left or right or something, some sort of transparent version of your dice that you can rotate around with your current dice highlighted. You can kind of rotate around to see, hey, how does this function? I could see that being really helpful. There we go. See, like right now, I want to go to the right, but I don't know if that's going to put me on... Oh, crap. Oh, jeez. All right. This is very tricky. Can I change my inventory, please? X. Restart. X. So, oh, God. Okay, so we need some sort of indicator of state to the player. As soon as you reset, you can modify your inventory, but only before you have moved at all. It's not like go back to the save point and then you can do it. You have to, like, moving physically onto the save point, it does not let you change your inventory. You have to reset, and I'm sure it's because walking on top of the save point does not reset the world. But respawning, in a sense, does reset the world. I'm sure that's why they did that. It needs to be something else. How do I move these? Oh, gall. So I can't click and drag them either. And I can't click on it to move it back to the inventory and then move it back. I have to click this clear button. First off, if you're going to do a button, make it like a little X. Don't have this clear button. Put it somewhere over here, in my opinion. Then you have all of these clear buttons that are just taking up so much space, so much repeated information. But also, it's just really unclear. Like, this is such an opportunity for a feel-good micro moment. To click and drag things, right? That feels good for the player. And I'm sure it's because click and drag is hard to build, and I don't know what engine this is being built in, but click and drag sucks. And that's why they haven't done it, but man, what a bummer. So out of curiosity, if I move forward, okay, that is not going to end the thing. Oh, jeez. All right, so we have to reset. Thanks for the update. I'm glad at least one person is continuing with their game. Yeah, absolutely. How are you? My wife just finished the kids' book she was illustrating yesterday. I didn't know your wife was illustrating a children's book. That's awesome. It was way more work than either of us anticipated. Yeah, I hear ya. Also, alternatively to transparent dice, having indicators flashing on the ground, the course, yeah, that would totally also work. It looks like they do want you to plan ahead a good amount, but that would, like, yeah, hold on. I like that idea. I really like that idea, Sundown. Let's play around with that a little. You got my brain percolating here. So we're going to grab this screenshot, and then we're going to grab, well, we could just do, you know, this, right? There we go. And we're going to add in a fill, and it will be this, and then we grab a square. Just kind of skew it. We're just going to do this roughly and make you the same color, right? And do that. Lock this background. Lock. There we go. We got it locked. And then group these 30%. Move it over. Oops. Move it over. And then set it right there. Adjust these points. And we'll say this is 1 and this is 5. These are not the correct die faces, but you get the idea. I like that idea a lot. I think that would totally work. I think that would really, really support it. But we're doing well, Sundown. Yeah. Sarah's book has been doing really well. It's been selling really well. And hopefully that will be a good paycheck in January, because heaven knows we need it. And then she's preparing to go to a conference on Saturday, the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators Conference. I don't know if your wife is a part of that organization or not. It's kind of a really big deal. If she wants to get into illustration, that's a good place. And, you know, I'm sure she could attend, and Sarah would love to take her under her wing and help out. That's clever, but it might get in the way of things like portals on the floor. Could be. Could be. It all depends on how well it blends or stands out from the rest. And the other thing is, you would also need it to be a little bit dynamic. So let's say there was an object to be cut here, right? You would need, oh, hold on, let's get rid of this lock, bring this down. If there was a domino here, you would need some sort of like, you know, extra cutting, exclamation of some sort, right? You need some sort of way to say, like And a domino could be standing up and covering this square. So that would be a little bit tricky. It would have to be some sort of other indicator. It would have to be... Yeah, that would get trickier. You'd have to have some other visual signifier to say, hey, this is going to be an interaction. And then who knows what the spells are going to be that we gain moving forward and how complicated that might get. So I could maybe understand that. Glad our book has been selling well. We will for sure look into that conference. I didn't know. Yeah, it's just on Saturday. This definitely is a great improvement. Developers, credit Sundown when you add this, 100%. Maybe, Joe, you don't have to credit Fox Hollow, but it might be good. It was Sundown's idea. Red outline on enemies when they were about to be killed or something. Could be. Could be. Like, we're just dead there. We need like... We need stuff on every die face. And so this is what I was talking about with the... I both love and hate the constraints in this system. Because... Okay, so we nuke that. Gosh, it's so clever, and it really makes you think, but if your system isn't robust enough to handle a low amount of abilities, I think these early levels are going to be the most frustrating. Because it's going to be... You have very few abilities to interact with the world, and there are a lot of demands being placed. With these break-apart floors and everything, like, I don't know how to get a sword on here correctly, you know? And now that platform is gone. I'm stuck there. And that's not a sword. Suck. Gosh, dang it. Yeah, so when you don't have many options, like there, I just died. So what is the game wanting me to do? Is it wanting me to say, hey, I'm getting stuck on 4 and 6. Let's put these on 4 and 6. Or am I just being bad at planning it out? In which case, I'm really curious if other people would also be experiencing that. And if a significant portion of your player base is experiencing frustration about it, then yeah, you probably want to start exploring ways to facilitate the player's ability to plan. Cut. Break apart floors should be introduced later. I would agree with that. I mean, I don't think this is necessarily a bad place for break apart floors. It's that there's no forgiveness. If you make a misstep, you reset to the very beginning. And this is a lot of steps to keep in mind. Remember Miller's Law, right? You can keep in mind 7 plus or minus 2 things in your short-term memory on average. And every move here is something that you're having to keep in memory until it becomes so second nature that now you start only remembering the things you have to do when near the dominoes. And then you can start, but you're going to have to go through that process of learning every single time. Keep repeating the same moves, do something else. That's what I'm trying to do. That was annoying. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying is it just feels really difficult to plan far enough ahead. I think I'm dead. Like there's nothing I could do. I couldn't move up, I couldn't move left, I couldn't move down. I think the puzzle is just too difficult without enough tools to deal with the difficulty. So either give me more tools before hitting a place like this, or give me an easier puzzle, right? Because this is just feeling outrageous. I can't cut that? Okay, there's one tornado down, so it's a little bit safer at least, so we'll have some more room to explore. Okay. Here's the solution. Just skipped it. Oh, dear. There we go. And now that we have 4 spaces, we can kind of rotate around until we get the right die face. Cut. Good. Oh, we can go over there. Okay. Great. I desperately want a checkpoint after all that. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. And because of the movement queuing, that was a very scary little run there. All right. We're going into ads. Can you move all over around? Yeah. Definition of insanity. That was a brutal one. That was a brutal one. So let's go ahead and go into here. Favorite dice manufacturer. What you got for me? My wife loves... Oh, I can't remember her name. I'll have to look for it during the ad break. I'll share it afterwards. All right. We got another minute left. Jiminy Christmas. Jiminy Christmas. All right, welcome back. I found the dice manufacturer. It's Crystal Maggie. Crystal Maggie is my wife's, like, one of her favorite dice places. My wife is not a big gamer. She had never really played games until she met me. But she has become fascinated with dice. I can't cut that? Well, what's even the purpose of coming over here then? Oh, jeez. Oh, man. And then it's so slow. It's like when you reset, it doesn't just, like, return the world state. It has to reload and, like, repool everything or something. Something weird is going on with the loading that shouldn't be. Gosh dang it. Oh, shoot. Come on. As of now, this game feels a whole... I'm dead. Whole heck of a lot more puzzly than it does Metroidvania, right? And the dice, like, I feel that we need some ability to roll the dice, right? Like, some way to interact with it. Because right now, oh my gosh. Right now, it's not really a dice. Right now, it is just a cube that is getting rotated. And I know that might seem pedantic. Oh my gosh. Gosh. That might seem like a really annoying way to put it, but I'm dead. Genuinely, like, I'm not rolling the dice at all. I am literally rotating the dice, but that's just a cube. That's not a dice. And I feel being able to, like, have a power up, right? Where you charge up every 10 moves that lets you randomly set a different die face for on the top. Like, would go a really long ways to communicating that you are a dice. And it would help resolve a lot of this awkwardness around puzzles that just don't really accommodate things. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't know how to manipulate this. Given the small space, right? There we go. Okay, one more. Oh, gosh darn it. Like, there's one on this row, right? There we go. Okay. Got the tornado. We can just slide around the side here. Get wrecked. Shoot. Oh, gall. There we go. Gosh. Oh, no. Now there's this. I do not find this a very I do not find... Oh, and we just crashed. All right, where's that going to put us back? Trying to find a non-rude way to say this, but I haven't seen the fun moment yet. I kind of agree, Endo. They're putting me through a lot of pain, right? Just once again, the puzzles are so hard. They're expecting you to be able to project out your die face like 20 moves out. And I don't know. I don't know. Like, if I can't adjust things on demand, then I don't know how we're supposed to be able to do that. And I could understand having some restrictions, like not changing your current die face, or like you can only change a die face that you can't immediately move to. So you only get to move one die face per move. Like, that would make sense to me. Like, if you need to have some sort of a restriction, right? So that you're not just manually setting everything. Like, I get that. But, like, projecting this far out, I don't get how you're supposed to be able to do that. So, there we go. Okay, so we needed to get it on the side and then roll that. Okay. I kind of grokked that now. Once again, I don't know why I just did that challenge. There we go. Get wrecked, get wrecked. Get wrecked. Now I have some room to maneuver. There we go. Oh, gosh. Like, this part just is not fun. Like, I don't know. Maybe it is as simple as a pacing problem. But I just feel like I don't have enough tools to deal with these things in a way that isn't really frustrating. And once again, that could just be me, right? And this is why you always want to test with a lot of people. Because the opinion of one person is not enough to, oh gosh, determine whether a game is actually good or not, right? They should give you some rerolls. Yeah, exactly, Moleskio. I agree. It's fun to watch you struggle, to be honest. Fox is having such a blast, he cannot even express it in words, except for a few hoorays here and there. Like I said, he's having a ton of fun. You can hear it in his voice and the words he's using. Is the game lacking? Yes, no music. No music. Only sound effects. Which is a big part of why I was saying, like, I kind of feel that this team has squandered their next fest. You know, I hate to say that, but it just doesn't feel polished enough to where I think they're going to be winning over very many people. Like, I like the idea, but it needs a lot more time in the oven, in my opinion. Once again, it could be that there is a whole bevy of players that are just going to go wild over this, and I am just not the right market. But at the very least, in terms of polish, right, there's a lot more that could be done. Music, UI art, UX flow, all that sort of stuff could be helped a lot. Computer Dream, thank you for that follow. Appreciate you. They should have waited until February. I think I agree. Once again, it's hard to say because they are doing a... you got it, Prodigal. They are doing a Kickstarter right now. So it could be like they just have to pull in some funds right now. And this is the way that they're planning on doing that. What is this 3 all about? I see. So they have 3 health. Once again, that 3 could read more like health, right? Oh, geez. This is just going to be awful. Give me some more skills. Like in the trailer, they show a lot of really cool and interesting skills. What? It was going to fall. It rotated. It was going to fall. Can we bait that out again? So now he's clearly going to fall forwards, right? That is what we are getting indicated. I'm going to roll down. So I should be safe from the domino on the left. And the domino on the right should fall towards where I am right now, is my mental model. No, it pivots and tracks. Goes straight in there. Holy crap. Okay. Good night. There we go. Dead. What? Oh my gosh. Shut up, this game. You have more mental fortitude than I've got, Joe. That's for sure. In the YouTube shorts, they show levels where you can learn the path and how your dice roll, and that seemed good so that you can develop the memory. But this open world concept in Big Arena does not seem to complement the gameplay, in my opinion. I mean, I could see that. I think there's a space for it, right? I think they could do open world, but I just need more tools. I need more tools to be, I need more freedom to move around. I need way fewer claustrophobic death corridors. I need the ability to alter the die, which die face is standing up, even if it's just randomized. Just give me a chance, you know? I need the ability to, you know, I need more control. I need more empowerment. I want to do an Octalysis on this because we really need more. I want to do a more broken down consideration of it. Why not introduce one of these dudes to get used to having to deal damage multiple times instead of dealing with multiple? I agree. And once again, just put a little heart next to the number at the very least. That's at least going to help communicate that. We could do a lot more with UI art there, but that's a small thing. Too early for a cocktail. Start small levels and then open up as you upgrade your dice and understand how the world works is what I'm saying. I could see that. I mean, tutorialization is incredibly difficult, right? I could see them going that route. Seems like the direction the door enemies are facing doesn't actually matter. That is correct. They will track you perfectly. Now, this is an interesting dynamic. He's stuck. And now he's dead. So that was interesting. I liked that. Yeah. There we go. So we have to walk into their path. There we go. We get at least a hit off there. We need to move away. That's not going to lead to a hit. Well, I guess we get one hit. There we go. That's going to get him. Woohoo! Got it. Okay, we needed a big moment there, right? We beat the boss. We needed like a... First off, we needed an intro for the boss to showcase kind of how their behavior is. What are they going to do? We need a little cinematic there, a little title card flashing up of like Ghost Dominoes or Demon Dominoes or whatever. And then when we beat them, we need a big particle explosion sort of thing. We need the camera like pan over to those blocks as they disappear, unblocking your route, a nice disillusion effect. Like, we need a lot more pomp and circumstances here. I know this is aquatic. What part of this is a Metroidvania, though, unless I'm totally mistaken about the definition? Have you gone back and unlocked any way back to earlier areas? Not quite yet, but I can see that happening. There is another pathway we have not taken. And, like, as you unlock new die faces, that, like, now we can cut through enemies and webs and stuff. We couldn't do that before, so that's kind of fitting the Metroidvania theme. I have to make a good version of this game for Joe to play. I mean, this isn't a bad version. I've been complaining a lot, but it's not a bad version. There are a lot of good things. It's just, it's like 60 to 70% of the way there, which is a tremendous amount of effort. And I don't want to downplay anyone's involvement or skill in this. It just needs more time in the oven, and it'll get there. I'll never be able to make the game I really want to make since I keep fixing other people's games. All right. Let's head on up. Oh, this was the pathway that we could have come from. Like, we went through that whole big circle. Did we get anything? I mean, I guess we got the cut, right? But could we have just gotten the cut and then run back? Goodfellow eyes your new spells? No, one spell. One spell. There are 3 of them, but there's only one spell. It seems I'm not the only pilferer among us, champion. Truly remarkable magic you've got there. Where did you find it? The discard pile? Ah, don't make me laugh. Okay. Yes, champion, you're to order me around. Could you just let me out? Is that so? And where might you be going, oh champion? Back to the tabletop? I think not. The gods have made the role of the die abundantly clear. To gather dust and be forgotten. This is the hand you have been dealt. Clever wordplay there. So go on, champion. Follow your calling. What is your deal? What do you get out of this? Oh, I know your kind, champion. You're no hero. Had you a fraction of your former power, you'd have discarded me without a thought. Yet now that you grovel beneath me, I see you for what you truly are. Small, naive, weak. All those corners, yet still so tragically pointless. That was a good line. Yes, I think you'll stay right where you are, little champion. I'm passing through. And there's the threat. Very well, foolish die. The gods pamper you no longer. Now thy hand shall be dealt by I, the Jack of Clubs. On guard! Okay, we got our first music. Jeez. Oh, that tracking is so frustrating. Oh my gosh. Lime Blossom with the raid. How you doing, friend? Welcome in, all you raiders. Hope you're doing well. We are checking out the demo for HexaQuest and getting a lot of good learning. Oh my gosh. A lot of good learning out of it. It's been, I'm not gonna lie, a very frustrating experience. Voice acting 5 out of 10. Some music 6 out of 10. Instant death 4 out of 10. We're getting a lot out of this. I think it's interesting in a lot of ways. There we go. Now we move. 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 Cut. Move. Well, what was that? Excuse you? Yeah, so, okay. In boss fights, you need to telegraph their moves, right? And they're doing it with the shaking. But the problem is, they're doing different kinds of moves, and they have the same tell at the very beginning. That's a problem, because the player doesn't know what to expect. Now, if they can only ever attack orthogonally, I guess it doesn't matter a ton, maybe, I don't know. I think that's gonna be pretty problematic. Oh, suck, gosh dang it. I would love health, too. Like, give me, like, 3 health, or 2 health, even. Instant death, in my opinion, I'm never a fan of instant death. And that is just me. I know that, like, precision platformers, people really love precision platformers, right? And instant death drives me batty. Okay. Are we in a loop with this guy now? Okay. I think the boss broke. They got stuck in a loop here. Great. GG. I mean, I feel a little bad for killing him because he was, once again, he was kind of the underdog, right? He was the downtrodden, the thing we should be merciful towards. And like, we didn't get anything for there. That felt like a bad fight to just murder him, right? Boss fight looks most fun out of everything. Yeah, it was probably, yeah, a good space to walk around in. And, you know, once we kind of figured out that we could get multiple slashes in, that was satisfying. Somehow this reminds me of my dungeon crawler. Really, Lime Blossom? Interesting. New Fox Hollow sounded familiar, but now I remember your Discord. It's all coming together. Oh, thank you, Quantic. Appreciate that. It's good to have you here, Computer Dream. Welcome in. Your next step summons a... Wait, press Q. Your next step summons a dust bomb. After 2 steps, it explodes, dealing 2 damage to enemies within 1 space of it. I like that. You can only be triggered once per checkpoint? And there's no, like, on... Wait, so I can't do it now. I have to do it now. Wow. Brutal. So, okay. This is a long demo, by the way. We can push this over. So this is just a Sokoban... Oops, I need to reset. Sokoban Puzzler. What was that? We got a glimpse of the future. Okay, we didn't need to move that, but I don't know, maybe it'll come in handy later on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're gonna have to do that, and then up. There we go. That was a satisfying puzzle that didn't, like, instant murder me all the time. That was nice. I want more of that. Like, that should definitely be moved way closer to the beginning, not all this far. Stepping out in the courtyard, you find yourself surrounded by dominoes. Yet these dominoes don't seem quite as malicious. They stand upright, hopeful, a community. Oh, hello! Hello there! A die of the tabletop! Incredible! Blanco said he saw something tumbling by. That must have been you, gods help you. You must be so lost here, so far from the tabletop. Introduce Blanco earlier. We're getting a name. Like, you could have had Blanco watching us from a distant cliff and then call some attention, say, oh, who's that? Right? And then move forward. Like, we can do a lot more to build the narrative here. Very reliant on baiting the enemy towards you so that you can attack them without getting hit. 100%. That's exactly what that boss fight was testing, is can you bait it out? But the problem is, like, we'd already had that tested a bunch of times already, so it didn't feel all that unique, you know? That was a neat section. Yeah, I did like that puzzle. Yeah. Do you have time today to analyze my tactic team? I would love to. We don't have time today. I'm going to have to drop off fairly soon. But love to do it tomorrow. We'll be on as well. Thank you, Mothman. Appreciate you. By the way, oh crap, I'm so bad at this. I need to set out, find a way to get this automated. go check out Lime Blossom. He's a longtime friend of the channel. Made Chill Seekers, the Penguin puzzle tactics game that we played a long time ago. Great guy, making some really cool stuff. Go hang out with Lime Blossom. I'll hold my points for next time then. Sounds good. Sounds good. But your presence is most welcome here. Nothing of the tabletop has graced these lands for some time. This here is Fort Mino, a beacon of hope for dominoes all counts. You may stay here as long as you need, my dear Dai. I am Elder Una de Mino. They call me the keeper of the fort, but it's the community that keeps it together, really. Nice to meet you. I'm Hex. It's a pleasure to have you here, Hex. Tell me, did you see a Jack by the name of Goodfellow out there? He picked a fight with me. Ah, say no more, that fool. Do not let it weigh on your conscience, dear Dai. Goodfellow came here in search of trouble. He seemed like a bottom-of-the-deck sort of card. What a tragedy that he found what he was looking for. Well, worry not about that for now. You need to get settled in here. How can I help you, dear? What's on your mind? Wow, this is a lot. How can I get back? Oh, you've truly fallen quite a way. The tabletop is meters away. I believe that northeast of the fort there used to be a path to Casina City. Perhaps you could find a path to the tabletop from there, though I haven't been out that way since before the dust began to gather. Do be cautious out there, dear. There are worse things than being forgotten. Okay, and, like, you have all this dialogue. Don't kick me out of the dialogue when I pick one option, right? Are we underground? Well, yes and no. We're not beneath the floor of the playing space, but we are beneath something vast enough to cover the entirety of the Domino Den. I believe it to be a great godly throne of some sort. We sometimes hear great rumbling and shaking from above. I know it to be the sound of the gods. Okay, well. Quoi? You guys are holding buds. Also, we have a wizard's hat now? Why do we have a wizard's hat? Hey, I'm kind of bored here. How about a game? I'm going to stop talking. Then after that, try talking to me again. Okay, no. I don't have time for that, unfortunately. Is this a store? Okay, yeah. So now we have shield. Ignore all damage this step. Upon blocking damage, the shield breaks and must be cast again to be repaired. But don't you cast it just by landing face up on it anyways? I'm deeply confused on that. Okay, so it shields you one step forward. Okay, got it. Okay. Whoa, we're going way back here? All right, at least now we have the shields. Oh boy. Checkpoint. Wait, no, wait, I went into a checkpoint. Okay, leave. Hold on. I triggered a checkpoint. I triggered a checkpoint in the store. How dare you? Right in here. There's a checkpoint. I guess it's not a checkpoint, but it let me change. I guess I picked up a spell. Is that what I did? I picked that up? Okay, that was confusing. Once again, we need more fanfare. We need more fanfare when you acquire something. All right. There we go. There's that. We need to time it. Oh dear. So we can't cut it. So we can do that. And now we're out of the way. Okay. Move you up. No! Gosh, dang it. There we go. Okay, we're through. I like that there were multiple options to solve that puzzle. That's good. Purple wizard head, I'm in. Is that block below the checkpoint? I don't know. All right, here's a checkpoint. This is a impressively long demo. I would have expected after the boss having died. Wow, look at how big this space is now. And that makes instant death feel even worse, weirdly enough, because like I can move so far and just explore kind of willy-nilly. So instant death is gall. All right, let's just leave you alone. Move forward. Cut. Another checkpoint. Holy cow. This demo is huge. I mean, to their credit, it's a lot of demo. Okay, so we blocked that. Now that I have the shields, the game does feel a lot more reasonable in a lot of ways, right? Which is kind of what I was expecting, that it's kind of what I was expecting, that as you get more abilities, it starts to feel better. Is your dice pre-configured for this part, or could you customize it? You can customize it, but you can only customize it as soon as you save. So as soon as you reset, then you can save it. As soon as you take one step, you can't edit it anymore. What if the full game is the same, but no instant death? Honestly, the instant death, if I had health points, that would go a long ways for me. So even if they made it so that like empty die faces are extra hit points, that would do a lot for my enjoyment. As it is, I can't see myself playing much more of this. I think there's a lot of cool ideas here, and it's really strong, but it is so frustrating for me that like I got other things I need to spend my time on, you know? If they could ease that frustration, all of a sudden I'm at this point where I'm getting cooler abilities and I'm excited to keep going. It's still too frustrating though for me. Once again, that's just for me. Let's do a super duper fast octalysis, because I do got to jump here. But I do want to check this out here. Here, and then grab our link. There we go. HexaQuest. Okay. Make it purple, of course. Epic meaning, I mean, you're trying to help this dice get back to their home, which is meaningful, but there's also, it's a little bit tainted because like you kind of hate the players. Like it feels like they're trying to get back to a very abusive situation. So you're rooting for the dice, but like we need someone else earlier in the story to say like, yeah, dude, those guys suck. Like they kicked you out here. You don't really want to go back. Even if our character doesn't believe it yet, we need someone to be telling us, giving us that setup, right? For the narrative structure, we need the theme to be stated. We have an objective, which I talk about all the time, but we don't have a theme. We need the theme. Okay, empowerment, I'm putting it pretty low. There's a lot that could be done to improve that rolling aspect. Good night, take care, Karazest. A lot that can be done to improve that rolling. We talked about a couple ideas. Sundown had that really cool idea, having a dice that you could like rotate and see where things are, or some way to plan things out, just something to make that not so painful. Give me some extra forgiveness with health or something. I personally am needing a lot more empowerment in this game. Social influence, I mean, not a ton, but a lot of games are that way. Once again, you know, if you go over here and look at all these, like social influence, not every game needs that. We talk about that all the time. Unpredictability, I mean, each room is a different puzzle, but it's all very deterministic. So I'm going to put unpredictability like a little bit in that you're exploring new levels and there are new things, but it's not, there's not really any randomness to this. Weirdly enough, considering the main character is a dice, there's zero random. It's totally deterministic. Avoidance, yeah, because like resetting to the checkpoint sucks. Scarcity, yeah, especially early on. Like all of a sudden this new level, way bigger space to be playing around in. Those earlier levels were so much more constrained. Ownership, there's a little bit because you're kind of customizing your die faces, and I like that. It looks like there's going to be hats you can customize and everything. That's fun. Accomplishment, when you get it done, it feels okay, But I think just the frustration of the avoidance is really lessening what is potentially going to happen there for me. So there you go. There's the Octalysis on that. I think for me, a better version of this game would be amping up that empowerment really hard. Give me more abilities to deal with the challenges presented. Because you all know me, something that I just can't stand is resetting to a checkpoint. Oh my gosh, doing that over and over and over again, that is a surefire way to get me deeply frustrated. Which is weird because I really like Dark Souls, but I think the difference in Dark Souls is that it feels fair when I reset to a checkpoint, and when you kind of know what you're doing, you can skip certain parts of an encounter, you can run around things, you can go hunting for another objective, like finding a ladder to make it easier. You can do these things to make it easier on yourself. So you start kind of engaging these sort of B plots almost, right? To give you a break from the main tension. And this game could use that a little bit. That's where we're at. I want to see empowerment thrown way up, and I want avoidance to go down. And then I think when that happens, and then if we can bump up ownership more, I think that's going to bump up accomplishment, and then we can do those narrative tricks to build in some more epic meaning into here. I think these are all accomplishable. I don't think these are huge problems that cannot be solved, but I do think they do need to get solved for HexaQuest to really accomplish what it is, in my opinion, hoping to accomplish, to reach the amount of people that it can reach, because I think there's a lot of interesting things here. I think there's a lot of cool stuff. Oh, also, Savannah effect. You can't forget the Savannah effect. You're starting off in a dark and dreary wilderness. That sucks, right? That's very discouraging. You need some sort of moment in the game to start off with the Savannah effect, where you can see how beautiful life is and the game is, and you want to get back to there, right? Savannah, it's Savannah, right? Oh dear. Is it not Savannah? I could have sworn it was. Anyways, that principle about like you need grass and sparse trees to Savannah preference. Oh, I always spell it with an H. Savannah. There we go. Savannah preference. We need something to draw us in, to say, hey, yes, this is a beautiful place. Right now, it's just gray, dark, and I get you need to crash down into there to take it to our story amount. This would be like we're in the all is lost sort of section here. We're kind of starting off thematically here, and we're trying to claw our way back up, which is tough. We need some beauty brought into this. Is this sheet public to view? I'd love to go through all your games. I don't. It is probably public to view. Anyone can view. Yeah. Here's the link. If you want to check it out, there you go. Oh, wait, hold on. That's my whiteboard. Never mind. Here's the analysis. Thank you for analyzing. You're very welcome, Mothman. Thank you for redeeming that. That was really interesting. That gave me a lot of things to think about and consider. So there's a link. You'll get you access to all these things that we've been doing analysis for. Good long historical record of a bunch of different things we've done. So there you go. All right. That's that. I'm going to have to bounce off. Thank you all for hanging out. I'm going to have to raid and run as well. But thank you all for hanging out. It's been a joy. I love doing these things with you. I hope you're doing well. Let's raid into Sorcery Story and go hang out with her. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you learned something today. I sure know that I have. And with that, we'll catch you later. Get some rest, Prodigal. Get feeling better. Thank you all of you for hanging out. Prodigal, Mothman, Endo, Karzes, Lime Blossom. Thank you for the raid. Computer Dream, Quantic, all you other fine folks, Sundown, everyone. I'm sorry I don't have time to scroll back and see you all. I hope you're doing great. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here, and we'll catch you.